Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. This video is about the software of the Honor Magic V2. And I have the global version here with me. And why am I doing this video? So in every review I read or seen, it was mentioned that the hardware of the smartphone is really top notch. It's great because it's so thin and so light, but it's severely held back by a mediocre software implementation. And also in the comment section of most of my videos about the Honor Magic V2, I was asked how I rated the software of the device. I've already made a video about the multitasking capabilities of the Honor Magic V2, and in this video I want to go a little bit more into detail and talk about the points most reviews and also most discussions online mention when they talk about the mediocre software. I've tried to list all the points that are most often mentioned when people talk about the software of the device, so that everyone who is thinking about buying it gets an accurate picture of the software's capabilities. So without further ado, let's get started. So in general, I own the global version of the Honor Magic V2, and what I wanted to say first is I have absolutely no problems with Google services. So all the Google services, all the Google apps are running flawlessly on the device. And I also was asked, what about Android Auto? And I can happily say Android Auto runs like on any other Android phone, flawlessly without problems. So that's great to know. Everything in terms of Google services runs fine. And this is in stark contrast to the Chinese version of the Honor Magic V2 or the imported versions. The global version is like any other Android smartphone. And I'm going to start with the look and feel of the device. And in general, in some places the UI or the software looks a little bit dated. For example, the UI element I hate the most, I have to say, is really the control center. When you take a look at the control center, first of all, you have these AI suggestions and a horrible line break or hyphenation AI, and then a large space and then suggestions on the bottom. And also look at screenshot. It's screens hot. Or you have auto minus rotat E. So this is just sloppy implementation of fonts and text in the control center, and also the icons and the fonts and everything like this. This doesn't look good, and this has to be definitely improved, because this is one of the points that make the UI really look awful. And also the app drawer doesn't look so nice, also with fonts breaking in the wrong place, and the hyphenation is all over the place. Not very nice, and also it looks like Android phones from 2009. So some UI elements really don't look good on the Honor Magic V2. And then you have notifications like this one here. Folding or unfolding the screen during use may cause display issues in Find My Device. If this happens, try relaunching the app. These kind of notifications I get every time with nearly every app, although there aren't any problems. So the phone is kind of saying, hey, this app can cause problems, but it doesn't. None of the apps the phone warns me cause any problems with launching it during use or folding and unfolding. I don't know. Really annoying notification. And the other notification that is really annoying is the system manager that notifies about power intensive app found. In this case, 1Password is draining battery by frequently refreshing in the background. Actually, the apps that are mentioned here never use a lot of battery, so I think also this notification is a little bit panicky, so to say, and also annoying because you cannot stop these notifications. But now let's come to some specific options that are missing from the device. And what I always read is there is no option to configure what a swipe down on the home screen does. So the default behavior is it will open universal search, and then you can open, you directly search for an app, for example. And I have to say, I like universal search because it reminds me of Spotlight from the iPhone. Swipe down and open and directly able to search for an app. It's actually my preferred way of opening apps that are not on my home screen. But I would like to have an option to configure this, for example, opening the control center or the notification center. If you want to open notifications, you have to swipe from the left. And if you want to open control center, you have to swipe from the right. Then you can swipe left and right to switch between notification and control center. But there's also no option to merge the notification center and the control center. They are always separate, and they only can launch by swiping left or right, or when you have opened one of the other, you can swipe left and right to switch between them. Then there is no easy way to change the fonts. So when you go into settings and let's just search for font, you have text display size font. This opens an app store where you can purchase a lot and endless of childish and horrible fonts, like for example Fruit Yogurt or Take It Slow or Fantastic Wish. So I really would like to have 5 options here with some nice fonts, and I don't need this rubbish app store for fonts, so I don't like that. Then let's go to the app drawer. There is no option to go to app info from the app drawer. So when you long press on an app, you just have the option to uninstall it. Some apps will also provide quick actions like Amazon, for example. But again, here you cannot go into app info. If you want to go into the app info, you have to go into settings, then go to apps, then again to apps. It's also one click too much. And then you are at the app info, and you can click on the app info and do stuff like stop the app, look for the data usage, the storage it uses, and stuff like this. I would like to have it in the app drawer for fast access. Then let's go to camera. And first and foremost, there is no option to configure double press on the home button. So when you double press the home button, nothing happens. It just turns on and off the screen. There is no option to configure to open the camera, for example. And this is definitely an option I would like to have, and also many others would like to have an option to double press to open the camera. Then when we open the camera, first of all, there is no option to change to 16:9 aspect ratio. You just have 4:3, which is recommended. You have 1:1 and full screen, no 16:9. And another strange decision is to put the timer deep into the menu. So you have to open the settings and then scroll down, and then you have the timer. Why don't put the timer on the general UI of the camera app? I don't understand that. Then when you took some photos and you want to look at them in the gallery app, there is no option or no way to resize the thumbnails. So imagine you have hundreds and thousands of photos and want to pinch out to have a better overview. It's not possible. You can choose a custom cover for an album, but you're not able to pinch like in other gallery apps. And this is also something I would like to see. I mean, for me, that's not a big deal because I use the Google Photos app as my gallery, so never use the device gallery. But if you would like to, don't upload your photos to the cloud and want to use the onboard on-device library, it's really not a lot of options to work with the default gallery app. Then what I'm missing is there is no Find My Device app on the phone. Of course, you can open Google Find Device, but the problem is when you then click on Honor Magic V2, there is nothing. So no map, no option to delete the phone remotely, nothing. In contrast, when you open the OnePlus Open, it will show a map with last seen position, and you can also have some options to, for example here, factory reset OnePlus Open remotely. This is not working with the Honor Magic V2. Then there are some options with regards to home screen organization. So first of all, you are not able to sort home screen folders alphabetically. So if you open the folder, you only have the option to sort them manually one by one, no automatic sorting. And also adding apps to folders is a little bit complicated because you will present this menu. In my case, there are 135 apps and I have to scroll through all the apps to add them. There is no search bar on top. I would like to have a search bar to be able to quickly search for apps I would like to add to a folder. Then some were saying they would like to have an option to hide the icon label or the app label and also be able to resize apps on the home screen. This is, for example, possible with custom launches like Nova Launcher, but it's not possible with the system UI. Then let's talk about widgets, or as Honor calls them, cards. Also a little bit confusing at first. So when you click on cards, you are presented with some Honor specific widgets, and you also have classic widgets that are the normal Android widgets. So I have three widgets on the home screen: the tick widget, the weather widgets from Honor, and the clock widget from Honor. And the Honor widgets are stackable, so I can just click and hold and move the two widgets on top of each other, and then they will be combined in a widget stack. Unfortunately, this is not possible with third-party widgets, so if I try to also add the tick widgets to this widget stack, it just moves out of the way. Widget stacks or card stacks are only possible with the proprietary Honor widgets, which is unfortunate, of course. Now let's talk about some options that are specific for foldable phones. So if we go into settings and foldable phones, then you can change the app scaling. So you can configure how an app will open, for example, in full screen in 4:3 or 16:9 aspect ratio. Unfortunately, you cannot configure this for multiple apps, so you have to configure this app by app, one by one. It's not possible to, for example, choose this option for every app on the phone. You have to do it one by one. Then a lot of people would like to see a taskbar for fast app switching during multitasking. So for example, being able to quickly switch between an opened app and a closed app. Of course, Honor has the action bar that you can open by swiping from the side and holding. I honestly really like this implementation because it's out of the way, and when you need it, you quickly are able to summon it. But some people would like to have a dedicated taskbar like the OnePlus Open has, or the Z Fold 5, or any other foldable, so to say. The Magic V2 doesn't have it, but it has another option to multitask with a taskbar. Then, unfortunately, the Honor Magic V2 has no option to save app pairs. So if I open Chrome and then, for example, also YouTube, there is no option to save this app pair. I always have to establish the app pairs manually again. They are saved in the multitasking view, but if I open Chrome, the app pair is gone. So I again have to do an app pair with Chrome and YouTube, and it's not in the multitasking overview, and you also cannot save it to the home screen like you can do, for example, on the OnePlus Open. And then if you have an app pair, some apps don't support horizontal split. So if I open, for example, Chrome and Reddit, normally you can click on the three dots and say horizontal split. If you do this with this app pair, it says Reddit does not support horizontal split, and you are stuck with this layout. You cannot switch them. Normally, if you open an app that supports horizontal flip, like YouTube, for example, you can click in the middle, do horizontal split, and then the split will be horizontally, one app on top, one app on the bottom. This does not work with every app, so also quite annoying, to be honest. Then some apps have problems with auto rotate. For example, if I open Reddit and rotate the phone, nothing happens. It will stay in this orientation. When I do the same with the YouTube app, side note, it will open in tablet view, not in phone view. This is new. There was some times where it opened always in phone view, but it seems like this was solved. But if I open YouTube and rotate the phone, then also the app will rotate. Reddit doesn't do it, and also TikTok doesn't do it. So if I do the same with TikTok, it doesn't work. It will stay in the horizontal, in the vertical orientation. And I know from the OnePlus Open, this works with almost every app, not on the Honor Magic V2. And these were some, if not all, of the criticisms of the Honor Magic V2's software that I was able to find online in videos, in articles, and in forum discussions. And I want to give you my personal opinion. So my personal opinion is that it would certainly be nice to have these options, but to be honest, so far I personally don't feel that I'm missing an option so much that I wouldn't absolutely enjoy this device. In my opinion, the design of the V2, that it's so thin, that it's so light, that it has such a great aspect ratio of the front screen, that the screens in general are so great, both the front screen and also the inner screen, the nearly creaseless design of the inner screen, and the whole package, the good camera, and I think this whole package makes up for the lack of some options in the OS. So overall, the software is really not a deal breaker for me, and despite the lack of options, I really would recommend this device to any technology enthusiast. And that's it with this video. I hope this was interesting and I was able to give you a good picture of which criticisms are most mentioned when people talk about the Honor Magic V2. And I also hope that you were able to classify whether these points of criticisms are relevant for your purchasing decision or not. Thanks for watching. See you in one of my next videos. Until then, take care and bye.